You know that feeling when you decide to make a massive life change? Maybe you're starting a brand new project, or you've set this completely audacious goal, but you absolutely refuse to tell a single soul until it's already done? Well, if you have, you're definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down the hidden psychology of people who build in silence, and why this specific habit, especially the fifth level we're going to cover today, actually proves your brain is operating on a much, much higher tier. Stick around because this is going to change how you look at goal setting forever.
Like, seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever kept a massive goal completely secret? We live in this era of constant oversharing, right? The default is to broadcast every single step of our lives to the world. But there's this really unique group of people who instinctively just pull back. They work in the shadows. They build their foundations completely out of the public eye. And as you'll see in just a moment, that instinct, it's actually your ultimate superpower.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because there's this jarring contrast between what we're constantly told and what science actually proves. You've probably heard self-help gurus absolutely insist that you need to announce your goals for accountability. They claim that sharing your journey is what keeps you motivated. But the psychological reality? It reveals something completely different. Keeping your plans hidden isn't a sign of fear or isolation. It's actually a sign of elite self-control and deep cognitive maturity.
Okay, let's dive into exactly how this works through 5 distinct psychological levels, starting right here with level 1, protecting your dopamine.
This is the biological trap that almost everyone falls into. Step 1, you announce the goal to the world. Step 2, someone says, "Wow, that's so cool, I'm so proud of you." And boom, your brain releases dopamine. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain is literally tricking you into feeling the satisfaction of success right then and there, without you having to lift a single finger to actually do the work. Which leads directly to step 3. You completely lose the drive. By the time you actually need to sit down and grind, your motivation is completely gone because, well, you've already had your reward.
And that brings us to an absolutely crucial rule. Save the dopamine for the execution. People who build in silence understand this trap on a really deep level. They actively refuse to announce their plans because they know that to achieve something massive, they have to save every single drop of that chemical reward for the actual work, instead of just wasting it all on talking.
Which flows perfectly into level 2, finding intrinsic motivation. Think about it. If you aren't relying on the daily applause of a crowd or the likes or the comments to keep you going, where is your drive actually coming from? Well, it comes from an internal locus of control. This is a deep psychological belief that your success comes entirely from your own actions. It has absolutely nothing to do with how the outside world reacts to you. You don't need a digital audience telling you that your work matters. Your satisfaction comes from quiet, steady progress rather than cheap external validation.
All right, moving right along to level 3, mastering delayed gratification. This is honestly one of the most difficult arts to master in modern society. When you commit to silent progress, you are actively strengthening your brain's executive function. Just think about what it takes to work in the dark for months or maybe even years without a single person patting you on the back. It requires immense mental fortitude. By constantly resisting that urge to seek instant comfort and validation from the people around you, you are literally wiring your brain for much higher level performance.
So the crucial takeaway here is simple. Don't announce, just execute. You realize that you don't need people to witness your everyday struggle. That messy middle part, that's just for you to conquer alone. You're completely focused on letting the world see the final result, but only when it is undeniably ready.
And that brings us to level 4, achieving cognitive quiet.
Highly intelligent deep thinkers recognize a fundamental truth. Their mental energy is a finite and incredibly precious resource. They fiercely protect their cognitive bandwidth by seeking cognitive quiet. This is a mental space completely free from constant noise and external stimulation. And guys, this is the exact environment your brain requires to do its absolute best processing, creating, and deep thinking. Without this quiet, you're just constantly reacting to things instead of actually building.
Because let's be real, there is a massive mental cost to noise. When you tell everyone about your plans prematurely, you are actively inviting a flood of opinions, expectations, doubts, and oh yeah, unsolicited advice right into your mind. That noise is mentally expensive. Every single time you have to defend your idea or worry about someone else's expectation, you drain the exact energy you need to achieve your goal. Silent builders, they just delete this noise entirely.
Which finally brings us to level 5, the silent execution. If you've ever felt the instinct to keep your goals hidden, I want you to validate that right now. You aren't isolating yourself and you're not being weird. You're simply reallocating your energy toward things that actually matter. As the saying goes, real discipline doesn't speak. It just shows up. Genuine discipline never needs an audience. It doesn't need to brag, it doesn't need to post updates, and it definitely doesn't need to convince anyone of its value. It just puts its head down, does the work, and eventually the results speak entirely for themselves.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to stop apologizing for how your complex mind is wired? Because there's massive, undeniable power in the way you operate. If you found value in this explainer and you want more real psychology-based advice that helps you understand how your mind actually works without all that fake hype motivation, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Let's embrace the power of silent achievement together, and I'll see you in the next explainer.